And I honestly I like that part only because Shane was building up this girl so bad. He was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this is
he
my
killed her
baddie.
so
This is my
quick.
number one hit." Applause. Do you think that we should do like some sort of like spoiler like
Spoilers in words at the
yeah,
very beginning.
The 2021 Mortal Kombat movie is based off the video game franchise created in 1992. Mortal Kombat is the name of an ancient tournament where chosen warriors of Earth stand against enemies of Outworld. In the 2021 reboot of Mortal Kombat, MMA fighter Cole Young discovers he's destined for something much greater. Cole joins Earth's greatest champions, and together they must unlock their arcana, or inner power, if they have any chance of defeating their enemies.
Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of 2Chicks 2Cents. In this, we're going to be talking about the movie Mortal Kombat, the 2021 version. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. In case you forgot, I'm your host, Tiffany.
and I'm your co-host Delilah. If you missed last week's episode, you should definitely go check it out. We talked about the show Severance. All the links will be below. And also, they did just release the trailer for season 2 of Severance. So we will link that below too, so you can check it out and be excited with us.
This is another one of Delilah's picks. Tell us why you wanted to watch it. Why'd you pick it?
I think so. Whenever we had decided that we were going to do this podcast, and we were like, "Oh, let's try and pick some movies," I think I just randomly picked a couple movies that I thought were cool, and I picked one that I was like, "Oh, this is cool." One that was a suggestion to me. One that this one, Mortal Kombat. I'm pretty sure I picked it just because it felt like nostalgic to me. Because I remember whenever I watched the movie, it just took me back to like being as a kid. Because I grew up with all boys, and like we played the Mortal Kombat video games, and we were so excited whenever the first movie came out and just like all of that stuff. So then whenever this new one came out, I remember like I loved it and it just like brought up good emotions, good thoughts, good feelings. So I was like, oh, let me write that one down. It was cool.
That
That's
is
about it.
cool. Yeah, I was going to ask about the nostalgia aspect of it. Like for me, I remember not being allowed to play those games or watch those movies. And so, but I remember going to a friend's house and we would play the games and I was like so intoxicated. Like I loved it so much and I wanted more. And so for me, there was a few weeks ago that I just randomly watched them, like not even for the podcast. And I remember just having a really good time.
The vibes. It was so good as a kid, like playing and everything, and then like me with all the boys, like I was always like uh fighting to let them like let me play. And so like whenever I think about it, I'm just like, oh, like, I was so young. It was so fun. I was just trying to play these games, and I was good sometimes. I was not great, honestly, but like I had my couple moves, my characters that I liked, and so it was just like it just full circle. You're an adult watching this movie now, and they did such a good job, in my opinion. But also, I feel like I come to it. Yes, I did play as a kid, and yes, like I like grew up with it and everything. But I'm not a hardcore video game fanatic or like a comic book person or anything. So I don't have extensive research or anything. I don't know all the characters' names. I just know that it was fun as a kid, and you just sparked that little bit of nostalgia in me, and like just made just a little good feel good something for me personally.
Yeah, that was actually gonna be my next question. Like, if you knew anything about the characters' backstories. And I only
Not
ask,
overly.
yeah, I only ask because after I watched the new one on Max last night, I saw that there was a TV show underneath, and
Yeah.
so I checked it out. They were like 10-minute episodes. Like they were really, really short and they were live action. Like, did you watch it
So
or?
no, we did. I didn't watch it, but me and my husband, like, we were going. We were going to. I was like, because since I'm in this Mortal Kombat like mode right now, and I saw there's a little show, I was like, oh, I was like, we should watch that real quick, like, or at least check out the first episode and like see like if it's good or like what it's about. So I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, I
But
think I watched like six because they were only 10 minutes. I was
oh,
so shocked. I was so shocked. Yeah,
did
I started looking up some other stuff. They've got like, I don't know, 10 different movies. They had a second one that came out in the 90s, in 97. It was Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
mm,
Then they had a TV show in the 90s, one season called Conquest. I'm curious now if those were also really short. Um, and then they had the one I was watching, Mortal Kombat Legacy, which that one's two seasons. Um, First season's 9 episodes, second season's 10 episodes. And then they have one, two, three, four animated movies that are actually R-rated. Um, and then the two oh the next one comes out 2025 and so far it's just called Mortal Kombat 2. I don't know if they're gonna like name it when it gets
so
closer.
in the very end of the this one that we just watched, the 2021 or whatever, they say coming
Yes.
soon is Johnny Cage. So I assumed that the next movie was about him and that it was Johnny, like not fully about him, but it was going to be Johnny Cage.
You can see who's gonna play him in IMDb. You can see
Really?
it's yes, that guy from Lord of the Rings and The Boys. I like him a lot. So, and then Hanzo's gonna be back. He was my
Oh, in
favorite.
2025 it's going to come out.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm excited that Hanzo's going to be back.
yeah.
Oh man. So I totally was like, where's the guy? And I just swiped past him, didn't think anything of it. I'm glad that everybody's returning. Because I mean it was so good. But this is cool because uh Kung Lao we thought died right now in this Mortal Kombat that we just saw, but he's on the cast list,
Who's
so we're gonna see
Kung
him.
Lao again?
The one that Liu Kang, like he was like saying that they were supposed to die together, the one with the hat. Like he's
I loved him. Yay. Okay.
yeah, he's on the cast list, so he's coming back in some form.
Ooh, maybe you know how he got his soul sucked out? Maybe like they have to go find him in like the underworld or something. That would be so cool.
I mean, it's possible because in the 1995 Mortal Kombat, once he defeats Shang, and then he sees his brother for a bit. He comes and talks to him, like, "Oh, we'll be reunited, but for right now, live your life, have a good life, and like I'll see you later." So it's very possible that in this next one, since we're seeing Kung uh in the cast list, maybe he could come back. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Woo. Yes, that would
That
be
was the
awesome.
best. That was I was just trying to figure out his name. Like
Yeah. Oh,
I said, I don't know all the
in the
characters.
in the
Yeah.
1995 one, it was the white guy. Um, I don't know his name, but he's been in, and he's like a.
No, it's an Asian guy.
Okay, then I'm remembering wrong.
So
Oh,
the
the
Raiden, they
guy.
put a white guy as him in
Okay,
1995, and I
that
didn't like
was
that. Yeah,
who I
I
mixed up.
didn't like that at all. I liked this Raiden because I do feel like it's an Asian person, like of some sort of Asian descent. It's not a white guy that's Raiden. Like, come on, it's
Yeah, especially because the hat, right? That's his
yeah,
character in the game.
yeah.
And they did that in the little series. Oh, I won't tell you actually because I know you're gonna watch it.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, yeah.
but I'm not really like the spoilers. Don't bother me. I'm still
Oh
if
yeah.
I want to watch it, I'm gonna watch it.
That episode I thought was cool. Like most of it's actually decent. Like what you'd expect, really. And um it's not like a flowy all things are happening together. It was like one tiny episode of this scene, a tiny episode with Johnny Cage or Luke Cage. What was his name?
Luke
Johnny
Cage.
or Luke Cage?
Oh,
Wait,
Johnny
no,
Cage. That makes sense.
Luke Cage is the other
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
It's Johnny.
yeah.
Okay, I was mixing up the two. We gotta check that one out. I've never seen that.
So I have seen Luke Cage, but I never finished it. But I only thing I really remember, I'm like, man, this is hella vulgar. For some reason, like he cusses a lot, and so that's all that I remember thinking about the show. But the show I think was good, but I just remember being like, man, this is vulgar. Like, I'm like, calm down. That's also what I thought about Black Lightning too. I was like, guys,
I
these
don't
are
know if I've
like,
seen that.
calm down. But
It's funny. Yeah,
my
anyway, so
favorite,
there was
Luke
like one
Cage.
little I like that actor, by the way. Luke Cage. Just on another side
He's
note.
in that show Evil.
Yes, it's so good. You watched it?
I keep trying it and it's not getting it. I keep
Oh, okay.
trying, it's not getting it at all.
What is it
The
about it? Just out of
It's just
curiosity.
that I don't know, like I love the whole angels, demons, all that stuff, cool, but I don't get why, at least in these beginning episodes, they're focusing so much on like the girl's belief, if she believes in it all or not. Who cares? Like,
Oh,
why are you enlisting people that like are this annoying to get on board? Like, go get somebody else that wants to help you. Clearly, this shit's real, and I'm not gonna keep sitting here. You seeing this stuff in your face, and then you keep saying it's not real. I don't believe in it, but like you keep getting proven wrong over and over again. It's just annoying.
I like the perspective of the skeptic because it's very like real. Like, there's so many people out there who witness things and then other people come in who weren't directly there, but then they're
Yeah,
explaining and saying all these things. And then it's nice, you kind of do see a little bit of her own transformation. She
I haven't
evolves. She
gotten to that
evolves.
because
Yeah, but I get why that would be
yeah,
annoying, but
I'm just
for
like, this is
sure.
very annoying because it's in your face. So like, why is it taking you this long to get on board?
Yeah.
That's why I haven't made it past, I think, episode 3, and I've
Yeah,
put it on so many times.
that makes sense. I won't make you do it. I won't torture you. Yeah, it was a cool
Anyway,
show.
back to Mortal Kombat.
Back to Mortal Kombat. Yeah, yes. Okay, I want to know what your favorite part is.
Oh my god! So of course the best part is the fight between Scorpion and Sub Zero. So great. But I do like that in this one versus, so like that's pretty much the only thing I remember as a kid is that Scorpion and Sub Zero, best characters, but also they're enemies. But I never knew why they're enemies. You just know that they're enemies. So I liked in this 2021 version, you got to see a little bit of backstory because in the 1995 one, you don't see nothing. You actually see that they're both like being controlled by the soul sucker by Shang or whatever for some reason, and you only get a quick little glimpse of them. You don't really get to know them. So I like in this one that you get to know them, and like their fight or whatever is so badass. And the best part of their fight is when, which like it's so small so you almost don't catch it. The first time I watched this movie, I don't remember, I don't know if I saw it, but this time whenever I watched it, I was like, what the hell, that was so cool. So at one point, Sub Zero, like, Scorpion is like on the floor kneeling, sort of, and Sub Zero like punches or stabs him or something, and blood goes shooting out of the back of Scorpion, and Sub Zero freezes his blood, stabs him with his own like blood knife. I was like,
I saw that.
that was play.
That
That
was
was
that was
that was really good.
crazy.
I was like, that was really cool. I don't know who thought of this fight scene or whatever, but that was a good little gem to put in there. That was so cool.
Yes.
That was my favorite part.
With the backstory, um, I would have, I wanted to know, like, why Sub-Zero hated him that much. That
Yeah,
he would want to kill his family, his children, his bloodline. Like, I was like, where is this coming from? But I mean, it was great because, like, you get this just pure evil guy. A lot of times Hollywood tries to, like, blur the lines and gets you to
yeah.
see the other
Try to
side,
sympathize for them or something.
sympathize, but they just was like, this is all around bad dude. We all just want to kill him, and this is why. But at the same time, I still wanted to know, like, what was his motivation? Like,
And then
just
like
out of
he kept saying
curiosity,
that it was for someone, like for, he was saying like Lynn something or whatever. He kept saying that it was for someone that he was doing this to
So, like,
Hanzo.
revenge,
Yeah,
like
but like
maybe,
what did he do to
right?
Like what
Maybe
do
we'll
you?
get more
And
backstory in
then
the
I'm
second one.
wondering. I hope because I'm wondering, is that something that like you're supposed to know from the game or from a comic or something? I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know. If you
Yeah.
know like in comments, let us know because I
Yeah.
did not know why, who he was doing it for, and why he was so upset. But it was very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite part, I think, was when the hat guy killed the bat lady. You know what I'm talking about? The lady with the wings
Oh
who's
yeah.
screeching.
So he put his hat, and it was like a, what are those?
Spin like a saw, like
Yeah, like a
a
saw, like a
mill.
table saw. There we
Yeah.
go, like a table
Yeah.
saw, basically in the ground, and and I honestly kind of I like that part only because Shane was building up this girl so bad. He was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is
He
my
killed her
baddie.
so
This is my
quick.
#1 hit." And then she dies almost instantly. It's like, girl, you thought you tried it.
Yeah,
You tried.
she made me cringe a little bit too. I was like, eh. And then when he just like killed her so quick, I was like, all right, I don't see her anymore.
I do wish though that there was a better like coming to realization like Cole, like who he was, and maybe if we saw a little bit more like, I wish that like
Who
we
was?
Cole, like that he was in the Hassan like bloodline or whatever from Scorpion. He's in Scorpion's bloodline,
Oh, oh,
and that's how come he was born with his Mortal Kombat
oh.
thing. Yeah, I wish that we got more of like a, cause like when Raiden tells him like, oh, that you're from Scorpion's bloodline and that's why you were born with your symbol and all that. I just wish that it was more dramatic, more. And maybe if, like whenever he shows the clip of how he saved Scorpion's daughter or whatever, if we got to see a little bit more. Like you saved her, she grew up where? She grew up in New York
I
City. Cool.
I
And then
wanted
like
to know
how
more of
many,
that too.
yeah, like how many, like how far away is that like from you? Because they could have did like a quick little, oh, I saved her, and then like we see her growing up there and like her kids, whatever. So then like we see how it got to him. Like we just need, and I feel like his character, he was having bad dreams, and he was used to be a great fighter, and then he wasn't, and it just seemed like he needed more of an arc to become like this badass that now we know him to be. Like,
Yes, I agree. I think that if this movie wanted to be like a 10 out of 10, it needed more character development and
yeah.
maybe a little bit more work on some of the lines, but other than that, like it was still really, really good. But
So,
that
and
was a
for the
big one for me.
lines, I was okay with only because I felt like they were still trying to keep that little bit of this is a video game, you know. So it was very cheesy a little bit. Like they kept in a couple of the like one liners that some of the characters like do say in the video games whenever you're old school playing it, you know. And then so like keeping a little bit of cheesy was okay with me because that's kind of how the video game was.
I didn't really notice any of that. It was like maybe like one scene when you first meet the blonde chick. What I'd say is not like a super big deal. It was just something I
Yeah.
noticed and I was like, eh. So she's walking through a trailer and he's like, what is this? And she's like, we needed a safe place to do our research or whatever, to whatever. And then he's like, oh, well, this looks like a safe place to me. You know, it's just like kind of dumb, pointless lines like that. Those kinds of things bother me. Um, and then I did notice probably subconsciously some of the cheesy lines in the fighting, but those didn't bother me as much as like something like that from the beginning, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, still a good movie. None of that stuff really like made or break or broke it for me. Like you were saying with the character development, I think those are things that really, really make a great movie. Yeah.
And I think
And
that they should have did the same thing with Liu Kang's character, only because our the 1995 movie, very first Mortal Kombat and everything, all that, um, he's the main character. He's the one that he's the chosen one. He's like all this badass and all that shit. So I feel like they should have done more when they introduced him in this movie, only because, not everybody has played the games or watched the old stuff or anything. So I feel like you got to let the newcomers know this is badass. This is like this guy's a big deal. So I feel like whenever he was telling who he was, again, I needed a like maybe just like 2 minutes more like of his backstory, and let's flash back, let's see his development real quick. I needed a montage of his past so that people that don't know everything about the series or and about like the whole franchise and brand and everything and can know this guy. He's badass. He's one to watch. Like,
Yeah, I think in the like if they mentioned him before just showing the poster, I didn't see it because like for me, I didn't rewatch the 1995 one again like I said I would. I wanted to, but I didn't. Um, and so all of those names were forgotten for me,
yeah.
and I didn't remember any of that stuff. But I did see the poster, and I was like, "Oh, he's going to Hollywood. I wonder." And then after watching the little mini series, I saw him again. I was like, "Oh, okay, so this guy's a big deal." And they were talking about some of his backstory in there, so I kind of got it. Um, but literally in the 2021 version, they literally just put up a poster and you see his name, and then the guy's like, "I'm going to Hollywood," So I had no idea he
So, like,
had
in
any
watching the
similarities.
1995 one and then watching this one, I'm like, okay, in the 1995 one, we're dealing with Lynn Cage and then also Johnny. What's he? Johnny. Oh,
Uh,
I just mixed up their names. So we're dealing with Lin Kang, and then we're dealing
oh,
with Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade. But so like we're dealing with these three main people, or whatever. Your three main characters that you can pick to fight, like in the show, and I remember who they are, know who they are. But then in this upcoming one, none of them are like the main character really. Sonya's in there, but we have Lin. But then so you're like, where's Johnny? So it makes sense that the second movie would be with him about that. Like, I'm like, okay, we're getting the gang back together. But again, then we need to see that, like a little bit more of King, and like so people can know that he's a badass, that you need to be watching him, that he is important. That's what, because right now, like I think if you just were to watch this Mortal Kombat with knowing nothing, you just watch the movie, you're gonna love it. It's really good. You're gonna like it, but you're gonna think that it's kind of about Cole and Scorpion's bloodline, and that's it. You're not gonna know that these other characters are to watch and that they have like big things and all that stuff. Like it. I just feel like they should have did a little bit more backstory. The movie's like a little bit under 2 hours. Like they had a couple minutes to, because it like already it's a little bit under 2 hours. So we're gonna say, oh, it's a 2 hour movie. So just give me those last little minutes so you can add in this backstory. So then the everything is wrapped up with a little bow.
yeah,
You know?
I like that. Yeah, I think Kano was a bigger deal too. Um, in some of the other ones, I didn't realize that, but
Oh, really?
I actually liked his character. I know he was like a dick, but um, he was a very interesting person,
Yeah.
and his personality and his character, it, he did everything within what a character like that would be,
Yeah.
And I thought he was
I
kind of
had
funny to
no
watch
problems with
too.
his character. I did like
Yeah.
how they had him in kind of in their group in the beginning and then moved him to the bad guys. I like that
Yes.
versus in the 1995 one, of course, he was just a bad guy and Sonya is like after him or whatever. I liked how they did it in this one more
Yeah.
so. I feel like it made Sonya's character more likable and you're more rooting for her. In this new version, we see Kano double cross them so you understand why Sonya has to kill him, and she gets his uh thing or whatever. But in the 1995 one, Homegirl's just on a mission trying to kill him, claiming that he killed her friend, and
Ooh.
she's just mean to everybody. Then all of a sudden, her and uh, Johnny Cage or whatever are like in love. All of a sudden, even though like you never see her be nice to him one time. And so like I just like it was they did a better job with the characters in this one, giving us more obviously the 1985 because that wasn't necessary then, and like the standards are much higher now. So yeah,
So
it just
they'll probably meet in the second one and fall in love there.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I would expect.
probably. Even though I feel like she should be with her friend Jax, but whatever.
Wait, Jax? Oh,
The
that's
one
right.
whose
The
arms got
arms.
ripped off, which that was pretty cool.
That was intense. I
That
remember
was.
thinking, holy shit. Can
I
you
just
imagine
remember.
that moment when you realize your arms, both of your arms were ripped off of you?
It's like I'm
I
dead.
was like,
I'm
holy
dying.
shit. Huh?
I'm dying right now. You rip my
I'm
arms
dying.
off.
Yeah,
Like that's
I
it.
ripped,
And then to
I'm
wake
dead, I'm
up and be
done.
like,
There's
oh
nothing
my
left.
god, I lived through getting my arms ripped off. I felt that. No.
Me too. Oh my God. That was, I thought at first, when I first watched it, I was like, those are the arms they gave him? Like after he wakes up.
Those little skinny baby
It,
arms.
it makes sense later, but like, I was like, what? Why would they do this to him?
They're like you gotta open up all of your what did they call it? Your arcana, your arcana.
Yeah, it's
I
got
don't
an
know.
R.
In my head, I was
Arcana.
thinking it like like you're
Arcana.
opening up all your arcana. Yeah, I was there. Oh, you need to open up all your chakras. You need to know who you are. Like that's what I was thinking of
Discover your
it.
inner power.
Yeah,
It makes me think of Power, the movie Project Power, and
yeah,
they each had a different like effect
yeah.
from the
Everybody
drug,
gets
and it was
something once you realize who you are.
yeah, yeah,
Nobody gets the same power. Like that's for sure.
yeah,
I loved whenever when they came together and they're like, oh, we gotta fight dirty how they fight dirty. And then I love that they
mm.
put Sonya with Kano so she could. It's like, girl, you gotta kill him because you gotta get one of these marks, or
That
you
was
can't continue
actually
with us.
I completely forgot about that. The first time I watched it, I completely forgot that that's how you get your shit.
Yeah.
And so it was a really big, like, oh yes, now you got the mark, I was really,
Whenever like they're
really
like
excited about
putting
that.
everybody with their, she's like, I get the girl with the teeth, right? And I was like, why would you even think that's who you're going for? You don't have a like me. Like I'm watching, I'm like, girl, you don't have a mark. You need to go fight Kano. You need to take his mark. What are you
Ooh,
talking
you
about?
know what? You know what? In the Legends TV show, they go into the backstory of Katana. That's the chick with the teeth. And I thought that was
Oh,
pretty cool. And I kind of wish that we could have gotten more from them too. And the outer world, that was such a cool place. Like the setting, all their costumes were incredible. I wanted to see more of that. Hopefully we will.
I
We'll
just
see
in
more of
general
that.
just want to see more. And then also like watching this movie right now, like it came out in 2021, and also like periodically it's out all the time. But I just felt like watching it right now, it was like very refreshing because like on what's on TV right now is not bad. So I was like, oh, this is like refreshing. This is fun. Like it's like good to get into. Like I was happy to watch it. So I
Yeah.
think also that kind of played into like my rating of it because I was like, oh, this just feels fresh and cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta also say that I mentioned that I'm not always in the mood for fight movies, but I gotta be more specific because fight movies are actually my absolute favorite. I don't like movies with like boxing and like
Okay.
MMA style in the ring kind of fighting, but I
Okay.
love martial arts like adventure type movies with a shit ton of fighting. That's
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah.
absolute number one
Which
favorite.
I'm cool with. I feel like that's more so like categorized as an action movie you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
versus uh, a
Or martial
sports
arts
fighting
movie,
movie.
Even
Yeah,
saying that I love martial arts movies, I wouldn't say that's my favorite. I would say action is my favorite.
yeah,
But like, yes, I wanted to clarify
yeah.
because I was like, wait a second, I said something else. But yeah,
No, I love
um,
action and like I do like a good sports movie, but sometimes I could do without like the in the ring rounds and rounds and all. I don't get it. But unless we're talking about Creed, because I will watch all the Creeds anytime, any day. Michael B. Jordan did his thing in those movies. Those ones are so good. And the last one, whoo, the last fight of the last Creed movie, it is really good. It is really good. How they filmed that was so amazing. It's yeah,
good to know. See, like those I have to be in a mood to watch those kind. Like, and I know they're good, but I'm like never in the mood for it. That's what I
yeah,
mean by like I'm not that into those kind, but I do know that they have like really great storylines and stuff too. So
yeah.
I think I watched the first one because my brother said it was like really good. It's always when someone else is like, you gotta watch this. That's when I'll
Yeah,
watch them.
you definitely should watch them all, but then like pay really good attention to the last fight of the last movie
I
because it's
will.
just how they filmed it, and then like the meaning behind it and everything. It's just really good. It's like poetic. It's so good. Like
I
it's
like that.
more than a fight, and you will see. Like more than
Cool.
a regular physical fight, you'll see. It's really
Okay.
good.
Okay. I'll check that out.
In my opinion, the Mortal Kombat movie, it's a 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. You could always ask for more. My only thing, I think that they should have done a little bit more of the backstory of people, just for the development, just for the people that haven't, like, don't know very much about Mortal Kombat, or are just new to this. That is
Yeah.
about it. Unless like you're doing a franchise that's going to last forever, like Fast and Furious, then cool, then I'm going to get it eventually.
Yeah. And for me,
But
I gave it a 7, which for me that's like really high. I really liked it. I thought that all of the fight scenes were great, the settings, the characters. Um, for me, if you wanted to take it all the way to 10, it's just the little details. But, it was fun. I definitely recommend watching it for sure. Definitely for nostalgia. But if you don't know anything about it, I still think you'll like it. But I still think you'll like it.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely for nostalgia, watch it if
Yes,
you
for sure.
were in that world as a younger. But yeah, if you're new to the world and everything, and you just want to hop in, it's a good place to start.
It's a fun one. It's a fun movie. Don't think too much about it.
Yeah. It's very
Yeah.
fun. It's very cool. They did so good with that CGI and graphics and all that. How people do that, I do not know. So
Oh,
good.
yeah, I want to learn. Oh my gosh. So now we can do the drawing for the next movie.
Oh,
Yay!
yes, yes, yes. So, if you don't know, we are watching the show Changeling. It is on Apple TV. We are going to be talking about
Yes.
that in our 10th episode. And for
Hmm.
next episode, the movie that we're going to be talking about is. I'm always so nervous that I always just pick my own, and I'm like, I don't want to pick my own again. We only have 4 more movies in here, so suggest
Oh my
some. Make sure we
gosh.
add them. Our
Yes.
next movie that we're going to talk about next week is called.
Yay! I care a lot. This one was mine. Woo woo.
It
This
is
movie is
on
so good.
Netflix. I don't know what this one is.
Yes, I'm so excited that you have not watched it. And yeah, I don't remember. I think I just clicked on it because I know the actress and she was in something else that was like really good. And so I was like, I'll check it out. I had no expectations and I was like, oh my gosh.
Who's in
Oh
it?
my gosh. I don't know her name, but she was in Gone Girl. Did you see that? It's
No.
another good one.
Okay, so this movie is on Netflix. Was filmed in 2020, and it is considered a comedy thriller. 1 hour
Also got
58.
Peter Dinklage. He's like the greatest actor ever. He's in Game of Thrones. Very good. Yeah, another like so really great actors in this movie. Definitely worth the watch. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm excited.
Yay! Yay. Cool. Cool, cool. Well, I mean that's all I have for today. I mean, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Join in.
Yeah.
And see you next week.
Give us some suggestions.
Yes. Yes, please. Yeah. See you next week. Bye.